Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Well, hello, folks, and welcome to yet another episode of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast and pestcontrolmarketing.live. I'm here with my sidekick, business partner, companion, mentor, and I don't know, as Andy Griffith would say, I don't know what all else. We're here to help you, the PCOs and WCOs and other small businesses, be more successful, sign up more new clients, make more trips to the bank, and build a nice income and retirement for yourself someday. Isn't that right, Mike?
Absolutely. Nothing excites me more than somebody's success, where we've had customers in the past from what we've taught them. They've doubled and tripled their income, their sales. We actually had one client down in Savannah that got such a presence online and such a success pattern going that I think he owned his business for 3 years and got an offer to buy it and sold it for
36 months. And they paid him so much money for it. He said, I just couldn't turn it down. So I'll go do something else. He was an entrepreneur, he'd owned some.
Well, one of the things I always liked about him is that he implemented everything that he needed to do. And that's probably what I want to talk about today is, when, the belief is if I've got a gorgeous website, then I'm done. And yeah, you want a professional converting website. Now, what do I mean by a converting website? One that gets a response, one that people know that if they see that information, they're compelled to do business with you. And sadly, most web designers make pretty websites that don't sell. And people will argue, graphics people will argue with me all day long. Oh no, you got to create a brand. You got to create a professional look. If you don't have a professional looking website, then you'll be perceived as unprofessional and dated. And the truth is 96% of the people see your website on a cell phone, if they see your website at all. And so all that beautiful design and pretty photographs and confusing information gets lost on the size of the screen of a phone. So you're never going to make me believe that just a pretty website alone is all you need to build an online presence. So
I don't know anybody that's ever done it. So
we've
taken a lot of pretty websites and converted them to what people would say not so pretty websites. It's too plain, and all of a sudden now the phone starts ringing and people are signing up new customers left and right.
So one of the things that I want to talk about here is something I call the local big three. And it's not going to take a lot. It's pretty simple to understand. Of course, if you have more information, I've got some resources that you can investigate. I'm going to go over here and share this screen over here. And Hal, I'm going to ask you, what is the most successful website in the world that makes more money than anybody?
I would say probably Google.
Okay. So when I go over here and I look at Google, do they not have enough money to make a better website?
I'm sure they do.
They have all the money they could ever want. They haven't changed this look in 20 years. Since the beginning. They've always looked the same.
Can you pull it up where we can see it?
Yeah, hold on a second here. Look at it there.
Boy, that's real fancy, beautiful, gorgeous, out of sight, mind-blowing graphics.
Has anybody ever said, I don't want to Google because their website's too plain and simple? No.
No, that's a good example.
The functionality of the website is all that matters. Does it do what the end user need? Does it convey the information?
But do you see something they have there that's real important that we teach and preach? They've got a strong call to action. Search Google or type a URL.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it. So the point that I wanted to get around, what I call the local big three, I want to describe that, and I'll give you. I actually built a website called localbig3.com, and the big three has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with how your website looks. It's how your website functions. So the number one thing that you want to do when it comes to local big three is make sure that you are getting great reviews in Google. And every week people say, well, how do I get more reviews? You have to ask for them, because let's just go here and I'm going to search. And I'm going to search, we'll just do it, pest control near me. That is the biggest Google search for any service business. Plumber near me, roofer near me, real estate agent, lawyer, dentist,
cigar roller near me.
Yeah. So when I search that in Google, those are the paid ads. Okay. But lots of times you'll see, let's go to here to Hermitage, Tennessee. Let's see, it's not doing it for me. Give me a second here. You search for your business, that is the Google My Business. And that right there is one of our best customers, because this young man does everything I tell him to do. He's got 276 5-star reviews. And
he was a full-time fireman, and he started a little pest control business on the side to earn extra money, and he liked it so much he wanted to know how to build his business up so that he could quit the fire department and be pest control full-time. And that was about 5 years ago now, and I think he has 7 or 8 trucks on the road now.
All right. So this is the Google My Business, and here I'm going to show you all of the different, look at all the competition in the Google My Business. And you've got some people who understand they need to get reviews. Like here's a guy doesn't have 5 stars. So at any rate, and folks on the podcast, you'd have to go to the YouTube video to see this. But at the end of the day, the big three is, don't ignore this. You need to see how many reviews you have. You need to make sure that you have as many 5-star reviews. You need to respond to the reviews. If you get a negative review, you don't sit and forget. Just because you have a website doesn't mean you ignore your Google reviews. So that's part one of the local big three.
Yeah, don't ask people to give you a review. Ask them to give you a 5-star review.
Absolutely.
They will. That's a command. That's a call to action. Would you mind giving me a 5-star review? If you don't, some people will give you a 3-star review thinking that they're helping you. They really want to help you, but it's like they're giving you something you can work toward. They mean well, but they don't understand. So always ask for a 5-star review, not a review.
If you're a waiter and you say, I hope you'll leave me a tip, and you leave a 2% tip versus a 20% tip, and you think you're making them happy, you probably aren't.
Yeah.
So, all right. So big three. Big two is content marketing. And we could do a whole podcast on content marketing. In fact, why are we doing a podcast? Because it's content. What does the content do? It builds an audience. It builds a relationship. And most businesses, not just PCOs, don't do any content marketing, or they sub it out to people who aren't them. That's why I love doing audio and video content, because it's the fastest. Writing takes time. Writing takes thought. Writing slows the process down. So recording audio and video doing a podcast, transcribing that podcast into a blog, putting up YouTube videos, putting up Facebook videos, doing things on Instagram, possibly even TikTok. I mean, there are so many places to post content with a link back to your website that builds a relationship. Is something that most people never do. So if you don't understand what content marketing is, which is part of the local big three, has nothing to do with how your website looks. It's all about using content to be found and build a relationship and build trust with strangers. And we've got, in fact, I heard of a plumber that just uses YouTube and has built a multi-million-dollar plumbing business in his area just from YouTube. And YouTube is the most powerful television station in the world. That's why Hal and I do YouTube. We do Facebook. We do podcasts in Apple, Spotify, Google, and we've got our podcast at a website. We do a video live stream. We're making content that we're building relationships with potential customers. And Hal, wouldn't you say the number one lead generator for our business is what we're doing right now, our content?
Oh, hands down. You know, I used to tell people a few years ago, it's been, probably 10 years ago when I built Pest Control. You built Pest Control Marketer. You put the hobnail boot to my head and said, you got to quit teaching networking and to all these different people and stay where your story is in pest control. So I began to just focus on pest control. But I used to boast and say, 50% of my business comes from the internet. And then it was 70% of my business comes from the internet. And then it was 90% of my business comes from the internet. Well, now at this day and time, 100% of my business comes from the internet. I don't do any real networking for my business. I don't do any cold calling. I don't do any kind of mailers anymore. I rarely mail to my list anymore. I just focus on content, which is what you and I do. And our podcast and this Pest Control Marketing.live and my videos on YouTube drive this day and time 100% of my business.
Right. Well, and just to give you a little more information, content marketing is taught by a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'll type his name up here. It's GaryVaynerchuk. He's a Russian kid in New Jersey. But if you Google Gary Vaynerchuk, you'll find out about his books, his podcast. He teaches the power of content marketing. He's a social media expert. And what does social media mean? It means content that is so good that people share it with their friends. That's what social media means. Content is media. Media can be text, audio, and video. So if the content is good, people can share it socially. So Facebook and Instagram are not the only social media sites. YouTube is a social media site. Instagram is a social media site. TikTok is a social media site. Blogs are social media sites. Medium. I mean, there's lots of places. And Gary Vaynerchuk teaches be everywhere. He says, don't just make content for one property, or, we call them properties. Facebook is a content social media property, but YouTube is as well. And so the more content he actually said in a speech one time, he said, you should be doing 5,000 pieces of content a day if you really want to kill this.
But now that scares people. Explain what that means.
I know it scares people, but I want to tell you the extreme of how nuts this guy is.
Doesn't mean you have to make
no. But the reason he says it, he's trying to get the point across. Make as much content as fast as you can, and he has a concept called pillar content to micro content. He has a team of people that take his long pieces of content and break it up into hundreds of little pieces, and post it everywhere. So 5,000, like you make one piece of content and you put it in 20 places. That's 20 pieces of content. So it's not sitting and trying to create 5,000 things. It's doing as much as you physically can. And one of the things that I teach in content marketing is the tools, and we have clients already doing it. You do it once, and then we place it in multiple places. So realistically, if you were doing 4 pieces of content a month and breaking it into lots of other little pieces, you're doing probably 10,000% more than your competitors. So I'll take that back. I didn't mean to scare you, but I wanted to quote Gary, how important content marketing is to him. He said, I wish I was doing 5,000 pieces a day. He said, I'm doing about 1,000 a day. And what he meant was he was taking a piece of long content and breaking it up into lots of little pieces and putting it in lots of places. So content marketing works. It gives Google and the search engines and YouTube and all these places what they want. And you can build relationships that turn into customers. And we're doing it with PCOs. We're doing it with all kinds of service businesses, because I'm getting ready to do it with a hair salon up here in Nashville. It works. So if you don't know what content marketing is, Google the words content marketing and read some articles about it. That's my advice on that.
Yeah, read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It. That's how he got started in this with his parents' wine business, and how he became aware of what all you could do with content marketing, and how he grew his parents' wine business into a multi-million-dollar business through content marketing. And that's what set him on his course.
Right, absolutely. And then the last of the big 3 is paid advertising. And there are lots of places to buy advertising on the internet. And the way that works is give Google or Yahoo, or, in fact, you can buy advertising on Amazon. You can buy clicks. You can buy advertising on Facebook. You can buy advertising on all of the social media properties for money. Will give you eyes and ears. Just like television and radio used to give, why did people buy advertising on radio and television? Or why did they buy billboards or ads in magazines and newspapers? Because they wanted their market, the eyes and ears of their market, to know what their business was all about. Television and radio still sell advertising. It ain't cheap, but why do businesses buy that? Why do car dealerships buy ads during the 6 o'clock news? Because they know potential customers are seeing them, and out of sight, out of mind. Well, video paid ads is what I see very few people doing. And I created something. I think I'm the one of the only people in the world to label it this, because I actually have the domain name serpmusic.com. I'm going to put up there, and you can read about it. What is a SERP music? What's a SERP jingle? Well, every time you listen to our podcast, it comes on Google Pest Control Marketer. That is Hal's SERP terms. So I got it over here in this monitor where I can see it, but I'm going to Google Pest Control Marketer. The jingle says Google Pest Control
Marketer, grow your business like never before. 770-993-0004. I don't know why that didn't become a hit song.
Well, it just is. But now let me show you this. I just Googled it. And if you can see here, there's a company called Wolf. I got to read it here. Wolfpack Advertising. They're buying those terms to be there. And then under them is Marketing 360. They're buying these terms. But look who is the third listing for free. We are. And so that helps people from YouTube and podcasts remember how to do it. That's a SERP term jingle. Your SERP terms are Pest Control Marketer. And you can't stop somebody. See where it says sponsored here? For those on the podcast, you can't see it, but those on the YouTube video, it said sponsored. That means these people know our terms are so important, they're willing to pay money to get ahead of us. We can't do anything about that, Hal. But being in we're in the number one position for our SERP terms. And when you teach a market with music through paid advertising, your SERP terms, then you have the opportunity to make it easy for your audience to find you. And when they can find you and they find your website or they find your content or they find your information, you better make that information convince somebody to do business with you. You know, the whole point of the local big three is you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's. And all of these things have nothing to do with how your website looks. Now, we have our opinions and people agree with us and disagree with us, but that's not the point. The point is you can have the most amazing website in the world that if people found it, they'd be convinced to do business with you. But if you don't generate traffic or people finding you and consuming your information to make a buying decision, that's because you're probably not doing the local big three. So the local big three, once again, is Google reviews, content marketing, and paid ads. And we don't do just text ads. We do video ads, and we add the SERP term jingle. And when we put all of that little formula together, it has doubled and tripled some of our customers' businesses. Now, that's not what Hal does. What I do is in fact, I'm going to talk about it right now. If you have questions about this and you just say, well, Mike, I need to ask a bunch of questions, and I will do a Zoom call with you. I will show you one-on-one how this works. All you got to do is call me at 770-826-3662. And I'll show you everything, because if you're dead serious about doing it, I want you to know. And if you want to know how to do things in the offline world that's going to make your business grow beyond belief, number one, go to howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com and download Hal's free book. You need to read that book. You need to take action. And then, I can't believe all the free stuff we're giving away. You can go to pestcontrolmarketer.com and get a lot of information. You should listen to all of our podcasts. But if you want to spend a whole hour at absolutely no cost at all, call Hal at 770-993-0004. And he will spend an hour with you and tell you what he sees. And, he has all these years of experience of running a business, and he knows how to grow a business to the point that he was able to sell it for $1 million. So you need to have that end in mind. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you have a curiosity to go to localbig3.com. If you can remember that, Local Big 3. And I don't have anything for sale there. I just have information that explains how these three things are the extra part of the equation to have a winning combination with a great website to generate the business leads that you need. And it'll make a huge difference if you do it. Hal, you got any comments?
No, just I hope you'll think about this, folks. Our last episode we talked about beginning with the end in mind, how to grow a business and turn it into a sellable business, not a business that nobody would buy. These are ways to do it. This is how some of our clients have turned around and sold their business for small fortunes in a relatively short period of time, because they're doing this stuff. And when somebody comes to look at your business, this is modern day. This is, this is not the steam engine. This is almost driverless automobiles here, So if you're doing this, you're going to be way ahead of most of your competition. And that makes you stand out. So you're building your future when you're doing this. That's what you're doing, is you're building wealth for your future.
Well, all right, my friend. With that, I say good day, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of Pest Control Marketing Podcast and pestcontrolmarketing.live.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet Audio and Video Guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.